We want to talk to Hershey CFO Steve Voskuil. We also want to bring in Yahoo Finance's Brian Sozzi. Saz, I'll kick it over to you first.
Hey, thanks so much, Shauna. Steve, good to see you again here. Are you seeing a recovery in your away from home consumption?
Yeah, we definitely did in the second quarter. The second quarter was a time of dual strength. We saw continued at-home consumption, as we saw for a good part of last year, and then really saw the resurgence in away from home. As we look to the balance of year, I think that'll be something we start to see moderate a little bit. Chocolate consumption was up 9% in the back half of last year. And as we look to the back half of this year, we expect to see still some elevated at-home consumption, but something that's starting to moderate. And the same with mobility, coming off a really strong second quarter, start to see mobility also start to level out.
The Halloween season is always key for Hershey's. What are you hearing from customers, big retail partners, on how the season might shape up?
Yeah, you might recall Halloween last year was a record setter for us, and we have high expectations for this year as well. We really want to grow on top of the growth that we had last year. And early sell-in on Halloween is right on track with our expectations. We think seasons is one of those areas, and we talked about this a little bit the last time we were together. It's kind of found a special place of celebrating those family traditions, sometimes in different ways than we did in the past, but nonetheless, really have a lot of resonance with consumers. And this will be an interesting Halloween to see what traditions from pre-COVID carry over, but also some of the new things we saw that were really innovative and creative last year.
Steve, let's talk about higher costs. I guess, where are you seeing a rise in prices? And then to that end, how transitory or how sustained do you see some of these higher prices being, just in terms of your planning here going forward?
Yeah, we've been fortunate that our commodity basket and raw materials haven't been a big factor for us from an inflation standpoint. We have a hedging program that helps to blunt some of that impact on a year-over-year basis. On the other hand, we have seen increases in labor cost. We've seen increases in freight and warehousing. Certainly have also seen some increases in other areas. And I think some of that will be transitory. We had so much volume in the second quarter that it put some strain on the supply chain. It pushed us to more co-manufacturers. It pushed us to more overtime. And I think those pieces will prove to be transitory as we move through the back half of this year and maybe into next year as more capacity comes online. But things like packaging inflation, have been around now for a while, really since the weather events in Texas. And I expect we're still going to see more of that before we see it level off.
All right, I got to confess, Steve, last night around 8:30, I had a sweet tooth attack, and I was just dying for a chocolate peanut butter cup, and I ran out to the bodega across the street, and I got a Reese's. But along the way, I was thinking, the calories and the health consequences, and I said to myself, this is silly. How do you counter in a country or in a globe where everybody's calorie conscious and health conscious? How do you get us to just accept the fact that an occasional treat in moderation is really worth it?
Yeah, I think that's the key. I mean, we all recognize that the confection products, it's an indulgence. It's a special treat. And we have solutions to that. We have smaller sizes, and we have a lot of options that you can choose from to kind of, when you indulge that sweet tooth, we have a solution for you. But we recognize palates evolve and change. We're really excited, in fact, about the acquisition of Lily's that we announced earlier, really in the better for you chocolate space. So yet providing another option for consumers who are watching sugar, perhaps, or just watching their calorie intake. And so we always encourage, hey, find a time to have a sweet tooth. That's great. But everybody is also watching their diet, and diets evolve, and we want to be there for all consumers.
To this end, Steve, recently came out with organic Reese's peanut butter cups. Now, are you finding that product is taking market share away from traditional Reese's peanut butter cups?
We haven't seen that so far. Organic is a smaller population, but more of a niche product. And so we haven't seen the crossover as much with regular peanut butter cups. Now, I will say the organic peanut butter cup tastes great, and I think it's a fantastic product. But we haven't seen the crossover yet, certainly pulling volume from Reese's.
Steve, I don't know if you've been asked this before, but I think we all want to know, what's your go-to treat?
So my favorite right now is, we talked maybe on the last call about this as well, we have Reese's with peanut butter cup, with pretzels, and that's my favorite. Reese's with pretzels in big cup. That's my go-to right now, and that's going to be in the rotation for a while. In fact, I think I ate the last one I have in my office earlier today.
There's a word for what you've just done and tempted me, because now I got to go get one of those and try it. But I got to ask you, because I do love chocolate. Who doesn't, right? What are the trends, though? What's the next phase for confections? Is it going to continue to be chocolate, or is there something coming down the pike you can share with us that's just going to be the blockbuster people don't know about today?
We want to focus a lot of our innovation first on the core. We have winners. Reese's itself is on a tear. I mean, we're up double digits in the second quarter on top of a double-digit growth last year at the same time. And so we want to make sure we're investing in the core and bringing innovation like pretzel around the core, because we know consumers love it and they love those innovations on the core. And on top of that, I think we want to continue to evolve as palates evolve. So looking for better for you alternatives that appeal to different palates, things like organic, things like zero sugar. And we think that's also a place we want to continue to build and invest and offer consumers more choice.
I think it's safe to say that we're all craving chocolate at this point. Steve Voskuil, thanks so much for taking the time to join us, CFO of Hershey. And of course, our thanks to Brian Salzi as well.